We're back again, Stephen. We're back again with another edition of what?
Let's Eat a Pie Day? I don't know.
No, Kicking It Old School.
Yes.
Kicking It Old School.
How are
And
you?
I believe we have audio. So I'm doing an audio check before we go too far into this. Everyone, are we getting sound? I believe we are, but I want to make sure people say, yeah, Glenn, your audio is actually working today.
Yeah, it's a miracle. We're going off without a hitch for once in our lives.
I think it is. So we have a guest today, which I'm a little excited to have on here.
Guest.
We do have a secret. Let's see if we can tune this TV in here a little bit. Let's get this TV tuned in. Okay, so we have a special guest today, and we have today Ryan from Old Skool Gamer. Ryan, welcome.
Magazine.
You guys are spelling school wrong, though, is the thing.
Yeah, I was never good in
the
school.
Hip way of doing it.
Yeah, I was never good.
I'm not very hip, though. So.
I'm very
elite way
bad
of
in English.
So welcome, Ryan.
Very cool. I got to tell you, I mean, I've heard of what Glenn's got going. I'm not familiar with some of the other stuff, and friends of mine said that Glenn was bringing a ton of traffic over to our booth at the Long Island Retro Show, and I found out that this is a guy we've got to at least start talking to. And yeah, we talked for a while on the phone, but this is a whole nother experience. I understand I'm in the middle here, as I see on the screen. I guess I get picked on by both sides. That's the way it's going to work?
That's how it works.
That could be it, sure.
Okay.
We could do that if you want. We don't usually pick on our guests terribly hard, but
no.
Hey, maybe first time for everything.
But I will say, you know, I was at the Long Island Gaming Expo at your booth with Bill and his wife Lucy, and Jen was there, and I think Jen might have been the person who was helping because he was like tackling people walking by and dragging them over to the booth. So yeah, Jen wasn't playing around when she was there that day.
Cool.
But
the main reason I wanted you on here, I wanted to talk a little bit about your magazine, and I know you're doing a Kickstarter right now as well. We want to try and help you reach your goal, which I think we can definitely do. It's a great magazine. But why don't you tell us a little bit first, before we do anything else, what Old Skool Gamer is about? And you started it, correct? This is like your baby.
Yeah. About 5 years ago, when I was attending the Classic Game Fest down in Austin, Texas, which is a great event you guys have got to get to, I started thinking about what do I want to do? I want to do something with video games. I want to do something to preserve history that's out there. There's been half a dozen different people try to put together a retro gaming magazine over the last 10 years or so. I have experience from about 15, 20 years of publishing a magazine in the mobile DJ industry that I could use to do this. So I did it. Our first issue came out and was handed out at the Portland Retro Gaming Show. We've now put, let's see, issue number 30 is about to go to press. We're celebrating 5 years of doing this. And we're trying to kick it up a little bit more. I'd like to do even more with this. It's been kind of my own personal financed mission, but I can't afford it. I got to have a little bit of backing, got to get some more subscribers to the magazine, and that's why we did this whole Kickstarter thing.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because you do things here that a lot of people don't do. I'm going to pull up your website here for just 1 second. Let me bring this over here and pull up our site. Now, this is the Kickstarter. We'll come back to this in a second.
Okay, got it.
But this is your page, Old Skool Gamer. And what you kind of do, I'm going to see if we bring the window up for a little bit so we kind of don't cover all our faces. You actually have a free edition, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Where essentially you get access to the first half of the magazine. And we've literally got 25,000 people that are subscribed to that edition that get access to it. And there's 25,000 people get access to it, 10 or 15,000 look at the average issue. But what pays the bills, honestly, is advertising and then also people subscribing and paying anywhere from $20 to $50 a year to subscribe. And that's where we want to do a little bit more. Why don't you go ahead and click on, let's see, read magazines.
Yeah, I actually have one already over here. That's
our latest edition.
The latest edition. So what's really neat about this, again, this is the free edition. You get, I said, about the first half of the magazine. The material in here is excellent. I mean, they have really nice articles in here. You have a lot of good reviewers, but a lot of good content in this magazine. And again, this is completely free right now. This is a free version. If you want the full version, you can pay a smaller amount and get just the electronic copy, right? Mm-hmm. But you can up it a little bit more and get the paperback. And the paperback, for me, oh, look, how did I get in there? I can't believe I got in there. How'd that happen? That's me. In any case.
Actually, let me grab a copy of the actual, or I'm glad I think that you've got one too. But I mean, yeah, the actual printed magazine is fantastic. We do a great job with it. And we enjoy what we're doing with this. It's kind of our mission of love. And yeah, we've got some nice advertisers to help us pay some of the bills, but printing stuff does cost money.
It does. I mean, what does that typically run? I mean, even the electronic copy's got to cost you something. If people, getting this all put together.
I mean, we've got a couple $1,000s in expense in putting together the magazine before we put it out, and literally another probably $6,000 to $7,000 to print it and mail it out for people. So, I mean, either way, we want to get stuff going a little bit more. We want to be able to do more with it. We're going to go to a thicker magazine. We want to add value to what we're doing. So we literally raised our price a couple months ago as what we're charging for it. And I have so many things I want to do. I have so many ideas. I was talking with so many people at the last couple cons. We added a couple more people into the mix. Some influencers like you guys, some other people with experience in the industry, and writing regular columns in the magazine. And that's all going to start with our November issue, which is the next one that we start working on.
Well, again, there's a lot of content in here, so you're definitely putting a lot of work into it. And, for me, again, for our age group, there was no internet back then. The gaming magazines was how you found stuff out. And I understand it's not quite the same anymore because there's so many different ways to get it. But there's still something about getting something in the mail.
The internet.
Yeah, there is. But it's something about you go in your mailbox, you go in there, and you find this magazine in there. And you just start looking through the pages and the pictures and reading the articles. I mean, I assume that's really why you did this, because it wasn't a lost art, but it was definitely thinning out.
It was thinning out. I mean, there was nothing covering the retro stuff, with the exception of a page or two at the back of some of the other magazines, with the exception of Retro Gamer in the UK. I don't know if you guys ever checked out Retro Gamer. It's a UK-based magazine that's absolutely phenomenal, and I'd love to get to the level of what they're doing for a US-based piece.
Yeah, I know a couple of friends over across the pond, as they always say, like Dan Wood and a few other people over there. So I definitely seen it. But again, there's just something about when you have one of these, even that the electronic copy is nice. I mean, it's nice to get it this way, but it doesn't beat a physical copy. I'm not a DLC guy. Everyone knows that. I'm a physical copy guy, and that's really what you're doing right here. So you're looking for, I don't know if you your the Kickstarter over here. That's your magazine right here. So I mean, your ultimate goal is to hit about $30,000. That's kind of your goal you're going for.
I've already got backing of about $25,000 to $30,000 from advertisers. I actually talked with another one today. Stern Pinball is going to be coming on with us, and it's going to be sponsoring some stuff that we're doing. We're kind of widening the spread of video games. We're also going to get into a little bit more computer-based stuff, talk Apple II, Commodore 64.
Amiga. Kind of got to get the Amiga in there.
You got to cover the Amiga.
All right.
But I mean, right now, we've done a little bit of stuff on that kind of things, but a lot of our magazine has been consoles. Atari 2600 through about PS2. We've always covered a little bit of arcade, a little bit of pinball, a little bit of other things, but we wanted to do a lot more with it. So, and we need more space to do it in. We hope to also get and add more content to our blog, to the content that's showing up there, and have regular bloggers talking more stuff in there. We have some great content providers doing that kind of stuff now. We're in a unique spot. There's a good handful of people doing like what you guys do. YouTube channels and all that kind of stuff that's out there. Podcasters of different format. We're really the only ones doing this. I've seen people doing digital magazines. It's like, yeah, that's cool. And that's how we get a ton of our readers. But it's physical. I mean, I love a cartridge. I love being able to get stuff like this. 10 years from now, less and less stuff is going to be on cartridge. I mean, even when you go to a GameStop now, when you buy a game, you get a digital code on a little credit card size thing in there. They don't give you anything anymore. And you know, which means, yeah, you're kind of renting it from them.
You are, because as soon as they shut down a server, you're SOL for mostly. I mean, look at the Wii store. You know the Wii store. Those games, you got to get them now, because once the store closes, that's it. You lose all that content.
Yeah. So the one thing also, by the way, when you do subscribe to the magazine, you get access to all the back issues. The other 29 issues we put out when you're doing a paid subscription that you can download or you can read in a browser like this.
And what's kind of cool is like the electronic one. I like these things. You can flip it like a regular page, and it looks nice here. And I tell you, when you get the physical copy, it looks just as nice, but you have it tangible in your hand. And I just like that tangible part. It connects you to the magazine or like the game. Now, when you download something, right, Steven? You can have a multi-cartridge, but you still want to get the original game and pop it in. There's no difference. It's a multi-cart. It's got it on there, but you want that original. Yeah,
and we can do some other things, obviously, with digital stuff, and we're going to be doing more of it with embedding videos and interviews and other things like that. So, I don't know. Let's see. What else to tell you? Let's see. Used to look at.
I got some questions for you after you're done here, Ryan, because I've got a few.
Well,
not a ton, but go ahead.
No, I'm very interested.
He's hit him up. Hit him up, Steven.
All right. So basically, a couple questions. First question is the tactile thing. Amazing. That's all I have to say. And I agree with Glenn and yourself. There's a generation of actually getting a physical magazine and taking your time to flip through it. Now, my eyes aren't as good as when I was 15, 16 years old, but nothing really beats flipping through. Like I just bought a book on Star Wars action figures, and it's a really thick book, and I flipped through this thing. I could see all this stuff online, but there's nothing that beats a nice book, and you know what I mean, and having a physical copy of stuff. So applaud on that. But my first question is for the folks that do digital. Now, I don't know if Apple still has their newsstand where you could subscribe to a magazine digitally on your iPad, iPhone, or Apple account. I'm sure it exists the same thing on Android and that sort of thing, where you get sort of a virtual magazine space where you subscribe there and then you just flip through, you know what I mean? The magazine virtually there on an iPad or tablet, some sort. Is that a goal, or is that in there right now, or?
We have our own distribution stuff in that you can access it, with passwords and everything. I've used the Retro Gamer app that they have, and I like to have an app that does a little bit more stuff like that. And I could see us doing that eventually, with a little bit more.
I think Apple offers a service to upload your PDF or.
The only thing is on the money side of it, they take a good cut. They take a good.
Oh, okay. So they charge quite a bit. I didn't know much about that. So
one other thing that will be announced soon, because we're still working on it, is, for instance, international distribution. We will be putting this into Amazon. the print-on-demand service. So essentially, our friends in Turkey or some guys in Japan that want to get the magazine right now, if I ship it to them, it costs me about $15 to ship a $5 magazine. They will be able to order it through Amazon and buy a copy, or they can get it, through us. But if they're in the U.S. or Canada, but affordably to be able to send it in other parts of the world, it'll literally print in Poland and ship over to the guys in Czechoslovakia or whatever. So we're going to be doing more digital distribution.
Oh, that's cool.
Digital/print distribution on stuff. Because even for me to send it up to you in Canada, it costs about 5 times as much postage to send across the border, to some province.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous nowadays, shipping.
In Hawaii on stuff. So
yeah, shipping is terrible these days. Just to send an envelope with a tracking number to the U.S. cost $15.
Yeah,
an envelope.
Nothing
else. It was just an envelope, not even a magazine.
I charge an extra $25 for my Canadian friends, okay, on subscription, and it eats up more than that. So I think it costs me, when I do it in bulk, about $5 to send a magazine to you, where it costs me 75 cents to send it to Glenn.
That's crazy.
So, it is. I'm telling you, there's that one city. Steve and I talked about this. There's a city in Canada where like one side of the road is Canadian, but the other side is the U.S. Yep. Let's just go there with a slide right across the road, man. What are they going to do?
It's Niagara Falls.
No, there was some town. There's some town literally like when you're going southbound, you're in Canada, but you turn around and then you're in the U.S. on the other side.
So we're going to do that distribution through Amazon. The other thing we're going to do, let me grab one off my shelf here.
He disappeared.
Jeffrey Wittenhagen of Hagen's Alley Books makes these great big compendium books. I don't know if it's not showing it real well. It's not showing it real well. Big hardback coffee table style books. We're going to go back and print our first 5 years in compendium books, because we've long run out of the first 2 years of our magazine, which was some great stuff. So we're going to go back and have those pending this Kickstarter going the way we want it to, which I've noticed in the last day it went up $2,000. So I'm feeling good about that.
Yeah, so you guys got to get out there and support this stuff, because in the end, I don't remember the last time I bought a magazine. Honestly, not because I don't want to. It's the crap that's up there is nothing I want to read about, really. In the end, someone my age doesn't want Elle magazine. I mean, let's face it, it's like,
or Celebrity Makes This, or
yeah. I don't want any of that stuff.
I have to get I have to get a subscription to the View magazine. I have to have that. The View, absolutely. I need. You can run a toilet paper. You need something.
You probably,
exactly.
Probably Oprah's magazine too, don't you?
But in the end,
we've had a toilet paper shortage in here for a while,
Like if you look at a newsstand today, it's sad. There's nothing, in my opinion, interesting up there that relates to somebody our age, honestly.
Yeah.
Unless you're a gardener or something like that, but that's pretty much it. The gardening magazine or cooking. If you like that stuff, fine, but if you like your games, there's nothing. The older games, there's nothing out there.
I'm looking through the chat stuff in here. Someone's saying iArcade seriously lacks in this area. I didn't see the stuff that happened before that. iArcade actually, up until the current issue, and they will be coming back, I've been told by talking with Jong, they will be coming back and having a column in every one of our issues of the magazine. They've done it for the last year and a half.
Right.
Of some updates and cool things are there. That's why you saw the reference to Glenn in there, because that was talking about their open architecture that they're getting to build off of it. Though I'm going to be seeing that gang in about 3 weeks in Chicago for one of their Game and Brew events, and I'll be talking to them again about stuff. The arcade guys are great, by the way. They've been a great sponsor. Without them, I'm not sure the magazine would still be running over the last year and a half, because they've been such a good sponsor of ours.
Yeah, I was invited. I would have met you out there, but my job has been so busy. I told them yesterday I probably won't be able to make Chicago, unfortunately, this time. Kind of sucks. It would have been nice to go out there, but the main job, like I said, someone's got to pay the bills, so can't make that one, unfortunately. But it'll be awesome.
This is a hobby for Glenn and I.
Well, understandably, my day job is I'm a high school computers teacher. There's no way I can make a living off of this, and I don't think I want to. I'm enjoying doing it this way so much better, because it's a family business. We went to a retro swap event down in Kansas City last weekend. The guy picked up my hotel room. I brought him a couple of things. We handed out a bunch of free magazines. I got to hang out with a bunch of people that love these types of games, and doing that kind of stuff is absolutely is total enjoyment. Is the magazine monthly or quarterly? It is a month. It is a every other month magazine. It comes out every other month. So 6 issues a year, and it will be about 72 pages once we get to the new format.
Wolf and Oz right here says he's got a subscription here. Great stuff. So
you have a Missile Command with the MIT chip, as in the ones that were the converted from. Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, we got a lot of good people in the chat to have some really, really good. Oh, I keep hitting the wrong button here. Good stuff.
I'll tell you, we are looking for more people, and actually just made up some signage we're going to have at the cons. If you're interested in blogging for us, at this point, there's no financial to take care of on stuff with stuff. But if you have stories to tell and are a good writer and want to do stuff with it, we'd love to have you, put in a proposal to write some stuff. And maybe when we get to a certain specialty, it'd be great. If you email me, rb@oldschoolgamer.com, I can consider that kind of stuff. So
we've been in talks a little bit. My contract is not finalized yet, but Ryan and I have been kind of talking about me writing some stuff.
Your agent's kind of causing trouble. He's kind of touchy.
I met his agent. Asshole.
Yes. Those are the best kind.
Gotcha.
No, I know. Also, Ryan right
ego.
now. Ryan, he's a school teacher. You have the magazine, but you're also a bit of a Star Trek fan. I'm understanding.
Yeah, I'm gonna. After we finish up here in a couple more minutes, I'll give you 5-10 more minutes. She's not bugging me yet. Me and my youngest daughter have been watching through all of these Star Trek series. So we started on Next Gen. We went to Voyager. We're about to finish Enterprise. She wasn't excited about Deep Space Nine and not having a ship real much. So we're going to be literally watching the last episode of Scott Bakula's amazing series of Star Trek. That's actually got what got me into Star Trek. It was Bakula. So I loved him back on Quantum Leap. Remember Quantum
Leap was awesome. Yeah.
We're planning on going to the Vegas Star Trek convention next year. We're saving for it now.
Nice.
So
underrated TV show. They're rebooting that actually. Quantum Leap.
They're talking about it. And listen, just between you and me, you could definitely pass over Star Trek STD. When you have a name like STD, you really want to avoid that one. And if anyone doesn't know, that's Star Trek Discovery. And if you look at it, it's Star Trek STD. What were they thinking?
What's better that brings back my memories of Next Gen is the Orville. I think that's
an awesome TV show. I'm a fan.
Get Steven talk about it. He can't shut up about it. The Orville. Go ahead, Steven.
It's a great show. It's an awesome show. It's so underrated. And I think the last season finished up, and I was like, "Oh man, there's nothing else."
Well, I think
10 episodes.
What might have hurt it, but also helped in the beginning was, who the main person is in the show. Family Guy. He's just known for that comedy, and some of that's in there. But the show is really more classic Star Trek, like TNG,
it's serious
than other Star Treks are.
There's some goofing around, but it's serious overall. It's kind of interesting.
The latest season has been an arc, sort of like the Borg arc from like 3rd and 4th season of Next Gen, which has been good on stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Glenn? Oh, you guys are popular guys. You guys have a party crowd in here.
No, we do. I pay them.
It's a great community.
They're all bots. All these guys are bots. I'm just doing it to make it look good for you.
Credit, Glenn.
Are they like the bots that Elon Musk decided not to buy?
Correct.
He was trying to buy off of it?
No, we're very fortunate. Our people in our chat are all a good bunch of guys. They're top-notch people, and
dedicated.
They're dedicated. They watch
their crap.
Yep. They let me know when my sound's not working like every week. This is the first week I think everything went smooth. Really, there was no problems today.
Don't talk too quickly. You're gonna jinx it. We're gonna have to.
Well, hold on. I'll give myself. Wait. There we go.
Okay, Stephen, more questions on your magic list?
Okay, so basically, you answered one indirectly, the Canadian shipping thing and all that stuff. And do you have a contingency plan, as in, if worst case scenario, you're going to do digital 100%, just to keep it going, kind of thing, or you know what I mean?
The backup plan, the contingency plan, if we don't make this, is literally to go straight to the plan where it's all printed by Amazon.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's a good idea.
Copies from Amazon for $12 or whatever we end up on the price point on them.
And that actually work really good, actually.
Yeah. I still hope that people subscribe, because I literally will make $1 on the Amazon sales. But I mean, if sort of like you subscribe digitally and then you can order a print copy off of it, I can still do well as long as I still have a couple hundred people doing the digital subscriptions. But yeah, the backup is the Amazon print on demand service, which is really good. I mean, if you ever want to put out a book, it was called Create Space. I can't remember. Kindle Direct Publishing now, I think is what's called. And it's a nice system. I'd rather control things a little bit more myself, but we have a Mr. Lang showing up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I tried to block him, but he got through somehow.
Yeah, they Vaseline their way into our show.
It happens.
Can't help it.
It happens.
So that's our backup plan. It'll cut down my cost tremendously. We can still function with the advertising base that I brought in. The other 30,000 of the 60,000 that we do that has already been fundraised. We'll substantiate that. We'll probably do very short print runs ourselves to have a couple hundred copies to hand out at cons. But essentially, that's my way of still pulling it off. And I've told my current paid subscribers that's the backup plan. The way it's looking right now, I just got to get excitement and friends like you guys, 4 or 5 more friends like you to help stir up some interest, and I think we'll be fine.
It's awareness in the end, because for me, I didn't know much about it, to be honest with you, because you need those retro community folks to push it out there and just let people know, because in the end, this is all stuff we're going to like. Have you thought about also possibly talking a bit about pop culture in your magazine? That's not really related to gaming exactly, but you had it beside your gaming rig.
Maybe a section in your article, just like Kicking at Old Skool in the magazine. Maybe a little page in the back.
I mean, we've done a little bit of stuff as it overlaps with gaming. Like, for instance, we had a nice piece on like Pac-Man memorabilia and other things you could buy and stuff. I don't want to wander too far out of our main area. I've got so much content that I want right now that's why we have to go to 72 pages if I'm going to turn this around. We'll probably get more of that kind of stuff, like what you're talking about, in on the website too, as it overlaps.
Gotcha.
I was watching a YouTube feed yesterday. You guys seen that there's people that make feeds that's just all commercials from the 80s. I saw
Yes.
commercial. I saw old Coca-Cola commercials, the CBS movie of the night. That kind of stuff's cool.
Yeah. It is. When you watch it, like you've totally forgotten about it, because it's out of your brain. But like 2 seconds later, you're like, oh, I remember that. And it comes all back on my Zenith 20-inch TV.
Someone just said something on the feed there about sponsor the arcade auctions in Iowa. Yes, I am involved in those. Yes, we've done a couple of them ourselves, and I work with Tom. I actually got to give him a call. I haven't talked to him in a while. I work with the arcade auctions. I have, let's see, none in my, actually no, 2 games in my basement right now, like 7 or 8 in my garage. The picture that's behind me is from a local arcade here in town. But yeah, I'm really into the arcade scene. Have fun with it. I have a Gauntlet full 4-player from the mid 80s being shipped to me right now that I bought in Las Vegas. Love the arcade games.
That's cool.
Very
I've got a few myself.
Okay, yeah, we all do. So
they're pain in the ass to repair, but yeah.
Are you more of a purist where you want the actual machines, or do you have other machines as well?
I had a 16-1 in my house for a while. A lot of people have those, or the converts. And I like it. It's nice, but the machines I really hold on to, I've got a Star Wars Vector upstairs, original Vector monitor, original everything on it. When that yoke breaks, you come talk to me, okay? Yeah, we already talked about that. I've got an OG one that still works, so I don't need to go with that. But yeah, and a couple cabarets and a couple cocktails. What do you have in the cocktails? Donkey Kong, Defender. Ooh, that must be. I think I played Defender once in a cocktail. It's not the easiest thing to do. I've got the Asteroids with a little 9-inch black and white monitor. Oh yeah. Great shape. Paid about $300 for it. How long have you had it though? 10 years. Yeah. Now the Star Wars I bought about 15 years ago. Only paid $700 for it when market was about $3,000. I had to drive to Rochester, New York to get it. I had a local friend go try it out and play it, and then it just sat there until I went and got it. Yeah, I still have to strangle that Pong machine out of Bill's hand somehow. Next time it's in the museum, I'll have to just wheel that out when no one's looking. Yeah, I remember him telling me about when he was restoring that thing. That looked cool. Very cool. It looked really, really good. I mean, I didn't know, like, until I saw the wheels at the bottom, I never would have known that it was not the original shell, but it was a beautiful cabinet. Have you met? I see someone talking about Rochester. Oh yeah, because I guess I brought up Rochester. If you're ever in Rochester, New York, check out the Strong Museum of Play. They've got a whole area on video games, arcade stuff, like John Romero's original Apple II computer, a original replica of the Baer brown box made by Baer. if you're ever in Rochester, New York, it's one of the coolest places around.
Now I need to sneak into that building to get that brown box. You give me all these different things. Glenn took it.
It's one of a dozen he personally made. It's got the same, cabinet, wall cabinet paper on it and stuff like that. It's cool.
Now, people don't know. I mean, they should have watched my channel. But if you don't know, Steve Baer and that brown box, or is it Ralph Baer? I'm forgetting now. Ralph Baer. Sorry, Ralph Baer. And that brown box, that was it. I mean, even though Atari kind of made the market bigger, but that's the finite point where the home console came from. And unfortunately, he didn't get the recognition as much as Nolan Bushnell did, but he got his revenge with Simon. You know what that was about?
No.
Now, Steven, you know what that's about? How he got his revenge with Simon?
No.
Okay. So Ralph Baer made, it was not the most elegant version of Pong, but it was. Nolan Bushnell saw it. It's a fact. He signed it. He came out with a better version of Pong, and everyone thinks that he invented Pong, and he made all this money. He had to pay them, Ralph Baer, money on the side in Magnavox. So later on, Atari came out with a game called Touch Me. And Touch Me were these little lights, and they made in colors, and you beep, 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 you know, follow the pattern.
Game. Yeah.
Ralph Baer looked at that and goes, And then he made Simon. No one on this earth except for 5 people knows about Touch Me, but everyone knows about Simon. So everyone thinks Nolan Bushnell developed Pong, and everyone thinks that Ralph Baer developed Simon, when it was the exact opposite.
We did a story on Bushnell. You guys know the other thing that he started beyond Atari?
I mean, after he left Atari, you mean?
Yeah, while he was at Atari, actually started.
Chuck E. Cheese, right.
Yeah, we did a neat story on him. He was a cool interview. He's a neat guy.
And actually, when he left Atari, that was one of the stipulations. Like, I'll leave, but I want Chuck E. Cheese. Right, because Atari, the whole point of Chuck E. Cheese was to put like Atari and other arcade machines in there. That was the point. You get him in there to play them. So that was his brainchild. He goes, okay, I'm leaving, but I want Chuck E. Cheese. They're like, take it. And that was it.
His buyout. I've got a Simon in the box right there.
Yeah. So you thank Atari for it. But in any case, Ryan, I know you have to leave. So I'll let you go. As your extra, I will play your Kickstarter here for everyone to see, just so they can see it. So I'm going to start that now. And listen, I hope we can. Let me get it down for 1 more second. I hope we can have you on again. Sure. For sure. And we're going to keep pushing this. And just so you know, really quickly, I did do a poll, and we have 83% of people in chat saying they're going to support you in the Kickstarter.
Well, I did say yes to it myself too, so that's kind of.
Well, listen, enjoy Enterprise. I did like it, especially after the first season, what got taken off. So enjoy it with your daughter, and we will start your little thing here on your Kickstarter. And we want to thank you for being on Kicking at Old Skool.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Hi, everybody. This is Tim Kitcher, the voice of NBA Jam and NFL Blitz. And if you're like me and you like to keep your finger on the pulse of the game community, there's no better way than Old Skool Gamer Magazine, either print or digital. And here's some options as how you can help support Old Skool Gamer Magazine in this Kickstarter. For $20, you can get a full year subscription, including 6 digital issues. This is available around the world. Or for only $95, you can go with a lifetime digital subscription anywhere. And for $50 US, you go print and digital in the US, a little more in Canada. International options will come after the Kickstarter. For most of you, one of those options will cover you. But if you want to really invest in Old Skool Gamer, check out these options. For $100, subscribers board advisory position, private Facebook group, thanks in every issue of OSG, plus 1 year subscription, including 6 issues digitally and print. And for $350, featured. A collector, store, or arcade of your choosing gets featured in the magazine with a 1 to 2 page article. Plus 1 year subscription, including 6 issues digitally and print. Plus advisory board benefits, including thanks in every issue. And for $1,000, publisher's board position, plus subscription digitally and print. So take it from me, Mr. Boom Shakalaka. The best way to keep your head in the game is with Old Skool Gamer Magazine. And now with this special opportunity to invest in Old Skool Gamer, you not only ensure your subscription, you're helping a great cause, and you have the option to help promote yourself or your business. Hey, that's a win-win where I come from. So get on the team today. Be a part of Old Skool Gamer and make your pledge right now. Woo, boom shakalaka!
Boom shakalaka! I got to fix Steven's face though, because now he's a little off camera. Just a smidgen.
Yeah, and my screen went green too, so.
We better? We got his
I
hand.
don't know.
We got his hand. Let me fix you on while he's we're doing this here. So I want to welcome again everyone. If you can slide over, Steve, just slide over a smidgen. Slide over a little bit too. There you go.
There you go. I'll move my chair over.
That works. That works. So I want to
Save me
thank
the
everyone
trouble.
and Ryan coming on to talk about Old Skool Game Magazine. We have more stuff to talk about though. More stuff to talk about. Now, Steven, have you watched She-Hulk?
Yes.
Okay, I have not. So I wanted to give me your thoughts. Well, no spoilers, but what are your thoughts of that first episode of She-Hulk?
It's off to a good start, I think. I mean, it's different because she didn't go through the whole split personality thing or alter ego. So it's a different approach of hulking out, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Right.
And they explain that stuff, and I think it's more of an introduction type of episode and tomorrow is the next one. So tomorrow morning you get to watch episode 2.
So it's every
But I like
Thursday?
it.
Thursdays?
Every Thursday. Yeah, I like it so far. It's only one episode. What can I tell you? We'll talk at the end. You know. Did you get a chance to watch Prey yet?
No, it's on my list. Actually, my brother was dying. I was surprised. Wanted to see Maverick, Top Gun Maverick.
I
you
saw
know,
that.
Because now that's the most.
It's on streaming.
It is. It's the biggest blockbuster now of all time. I think that's partially just because the theaters have been so dry, and people actually went to go
COVID
see this.
Killed everything.
It did. So I think that kind of helped here. The people just thankful to go back to the theater. To be quite honest, Maverick is really Top Gun and Star Wars. That's kind of what they did.
Have you watched it?
Maverick?
Watched it?
Oh yeah. I've seen it 3 times actually. I enjoyed it.
Oh, you must have liked it. I liked it. There's only one thing that I just shake my head and go, freaking Tom Cruise has to be the dammy, or I thought he was going to die at the end of this one, but he doesn't.
They can't. You know why? Because he's not going to be there'll be a sequels. This is done so well. You'll have Tom Cruise with a cane or in a wheelchair.
Well, they had Val Kilmer die.
They did.
Sorry,
you know what? I'm actually glad I am glad they had him in there. I mean,
so did
they had that rivalry in the first film. And again,
that
I don't
guy
know. We don't want to talk do any
voice
spoilers. I'm not sure if everyone's seen it yet, but there was just a rivalry there, and they managed to work him back into the new one.
Val Kilmer doesn't have his voice, and they had to kind of synthesize it a little bit in the movie, from what I understand. But my hat goes off to them for, number one, casting him again and putting him in there. You know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty good. Few far-fetched scenes.
But there is. But again,
Top Gun at the end of the day.
It reminds me a lot of Episode 7, because Episode 7 was just New Hope redone, and there's no question that Top Gun Maverick was the original Top Gun mixed with Star Wars. Like the whole end part of that movie was the trench run,
generation and everything else.
So I think that's kind of what helped it. And I know my brother and a lot of people don't like Tom Cruise, and I'm not saying I like Tom Cruise, but I do like Oblivion, The Day After Tomorrow.
He's a good actor.
He is.
That's what he's good at, and that's it. And
but not everyone's a blockbuster.
I don't own any of his movies, but whatever.
Not everyone's a blockbuster. He did do War of the Worlds, which was probably one of the worst films of all time.
Well, the remake.
The remake, yeah. It's just him running around and looking like this, running around. It was horrible. It was not.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan, but I didn't mind Top Gun. But Prey, you got to watch.
Prey, I'm going to watch that.
It has a slow start, but it's worth it. It's a good ride. It's a nice, fresh take on Predator and whatnot. I'm just the belief nowadays that Predators are a bunch of cheaters. So they just
they remind me of Klingons, because they always talk about honor. The Klingons always talk about honor, yet they are not
biggest cheaters.
They're the cheaters. And like in Babylon 5, the Minbari, they're all about honor, but they sneak attacked, murdered, and every sneak attack they were blaming us when they did 10 times worse than Minbari. But they're all about it's honor and whatever.
Yeah. Like, think about it. Like, the setting for this movie is, we'll say, Aboriginal, French Canadian. They call them, in French they're called coureurs de bois. It's like a woodsman, outdoorsman kind of setting from the first colonizations of northern U.S. and southern Canada. And there's these guys that speak French, in there. So they're in the bushes of, I'm guessing, Canada of way back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And but you think about it, they didn't have any way to look at invisible predators, and the
No.
predators turns this thing on. What are you taking candy from a school kid here? Like, what the hell? Like, make it fair. Make it so that there's a challenge. You know what I mean? So I just find that kind of good but dumb at the same time. They come to Earth to hunt.
Yeah,
and,
well,
they've
they should
got
be
all these
hunting like
gadgets and the
elephants.
guy's running around with a knife. I
Yeah,
mean, what the
yeah.
hell?
Not exactly the most fair prey humans back
Yeah.
then. You're better for the bear. And I think there was a bear. I saw the commercial. I think he did take out a bear, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least he did. At least he did do
But
that.
it's basically hunting with laser guns in a sense, and the prey is just running away. It kind of, I don't know. I don't mind the predator world and premise. It's cool. So yeah, it's basically colonial times, Davy Crockett times. It's
I'm looking forward to. I'm not sure when the release date is for Invincible season 2. That's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to that too. I really enjoyed the first season of that, and I don't know if I'm the one that told you about it. Say, Glenn, just go.
No, I already knew long about it before you told me.
Okay.
But I didn't know. But I didn't know about the comic. Like it was on Amazon Prime, and I kept seeing Invincible. I'm like, what is this show? And then one day I was bored out of my mind, and I put on one. I put on one episode, and I was like, it blew my mind, and I ended up watching it like a couple of nights, and then I started going on YouTube and found out that no, it's like a very big, comic book. But again, to me, it's a ripoff just of Superman and Dragon Ball Z. That's what it is, with a lot of gore.
Yeah. Basically, it's interesting in a sense, right? So, Saber Gaming, he's saying they were there to harvest Earth's strongest animals.
Well, that definitely wasn't humans.
DNA.
Maybe our odor back then.
Yeah. But back then. So other than that, movie theater wise, I don't see anything at the movie theater that interests me at this point. But yeah, it's I still see some YouTube videos about our loss of Olivia Newton-John and of last week and stuff like that. I saw on a newsstand they already got books and all kinds of stuff. It's almost like they were ready to print these things when the person dies. Maybe there's a warehouse of Glenn's death.
Yep, I'm sure there is.
Death sitting in a warehouse somewhere, and when Glenn or Steven dies, here you go. We're putting out a book and make some money. And
Paul's just trying to pull my strings right now. Hold on, I gotta pull this up here.
Yeah,
he's trying to engage me.
Poking the bear, no pun intended. I just saw Doomcock's video about Kathleen Kennedy wanting to redo Star Wars but have Princess Leia as the hero.
Oh yeah, that's been going on for quite some time.
But it's a fairly new video, and I was like, what in the world is that woman smoking? If that's true?
Whoa, hold that! I don't want to talk about that evil woman. But Wolf and I just brought something up here. What is this? I know they would talk about the Voltron for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But also Battle of the Planets?
Battle of the Planets, Gotcha Man, there is live action movies in Japan. Very difficult to understand. but there is. Gotcha Man or Gotcha Man or whatever you want to pronounce it in Japan, there is a live action kind of Battle of the Planets.
The Voltron one, someone did a clip. It was on YouTube. Someone just did a clip. I think it was like the red line or the green line was just in space and it was damaged and the guy was trying to call for help. But it was done like really well. Like it's almost like all the Halo videos they'd done years ago before the TV series came out. Like they had all these Halo CGI movies or real action movies. It looked really good, and I was always hoping they'd come out with it. So if they don't screw it up, I think Voltron and Gotcha Man or Battle of the Planets would do well. I'm surprised they never did Star Blazers. I thought that was a really good premise. That was alien race comes in and obliterates the Earth. We got like a year to get a special machine to fix the Earth where everyone's dead. And it's a space battleship Yamato with this big huge gun in the front.
Yeah.
It never. I think they did make a movie. I think there was one, but it's only Japanese.
So maybe it only aired in the U.S. or whatever.
It might have. It's actually really good. I remember as a kid, it was one of those things where I watched every episode, and then I guess I took it off the air, like right when they were coming back, or I missed it. I missed like what, and it was never aired again.
A lot of that in the 80s.
They did.
In the 80s, I found that, and people can attest to that in the chat. But you remember when you're a kid, you're watching this show, you're all into it, and then the following week it's gone. nowhere to be found. Nobody knows what happened to it. They just pulled the plug.
Or sometimes you do find it way later. It's on like channel, 13
Some
at like
other
4 a.m.
channel.
Some weird channel at
Yeah.
4 in the morning.
Or you find out 10 years later when you're an adult and you don't give a crap about the show anymore. It's like, oh, the guy died, or they pulled the plug, or whatever. And then you're like, oh, man.
Well, that's like, I remember I was going to high school and a series just started up, and it was Robotech.
Oh, yeah.
But it was on 6 a.m. 6 a.m. to 6:30. It was on every morning.
That's a good
And
show.
it was a good show. And that was one of the shows again. I was watching, and then one day, poof,
Gone.
it was gone. I'm like, what happened? And it took
Yeah.
years later. I'm talking, I was like, I want to say probably early 2000s. Cartoon Network played it, but it was now on like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was working, so I had to set the VCR, and I
Time to get
taped.
a TiVo or
Well, it was just VCRs then, so I taped every episode, and I think I got every episode but one of the girl with the motorcycle. I think there was a power outage or something, and didn't get it. But then, of course, I finally got the set. It's a good series.
Robotech was underrated, in my opinion.
Well, I think a lot of things, like even Transformers, all those things kind of stem back. I mean, I could be wrong. There were definitely robot shows before that, but I just think that transforming style of a robot was really more like Robotech. That's the first time I remember seeing anything like that in a series. But they had, they had, was it Robo Boy or Robo Kid?
Astro Boy.
Astro Boy. They had him.
Then they had Astro Boy was I enjoyed that series, and then they put another one out later. And
after the movie,
3D version
in the movie.
No, the before the movie.
Oh,
yeah. The movie was much later, but there was 2 animated series from the 80s, one from the 80s, one a little later, and then after that, the movie came out, and I think they tried to do a 3D series. I'm not sure.
I just remember the movie with Nicolas Cage being the father in there. I'm like, oh my God, that guy will do anything for a buck.
Well, yeah, he was the father or whatever, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought that movie was harsh.
I'm saying it was. He's like, okay, I'm tired of you. I'm just junking you now.
No, the boy dies. Boom.
Well, the boy died.
And you're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
man?
but the android had all his memories. He programmed all his memories, and he's like, you know what? I don't want you anymore. So he still had every memory of his kid. So it was basically his son again. He's like, nah, you're trash. I'm just gonna dump you.
Yeah. It was kind of cold that way. You're like, what the hell, man? Like,
about 2 minutes ago, I knew I was a boy, and now you're saying I'm a robot, and you're throwing me out?
Oh, did you see? Speaking of that, did you see the trailer for Pinocchio with Tom Hanks? It came out today.
No.
It's an official trailer of
Geppetto. What is Tom Hanks? Geppetto.
Geppetto, Tom Hanks, and it's a CGI, real kind of looking,
kind of like what was
wooden
it?
Boy kind of thing. And then there's Jiminy Cricket.
What was that train? The Polar Express, something like that.
No,
like that
this
type.
Is live action.
Oh, it's live action. Okay, but the Pinocchio is CGI.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And so is Jiminy Cricket, and there's a fairy that comes along. It looks like.
Is it Disney?
Yeah, Disney/Disney Plus. Well, September or something.
Okay.
It looks questionable.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm already. But Tom Hanks is in it, and I think Tom Hanks is a really good actor. He's one of the people I would say, he can act.
Yeah, I think of that my exposure to Tom Hanks was Bachelor Party.
Well, I had bosom buddies. I remember him for that, but the first time I really got into him, Bachelor Party. Yes,
and
absolutely.
Then when you see him doing Geppetto for Pinocchio, your brain goes like, he had a horse in his apartment.
No, it was a donkey.
A donkey
and a hooker. It was a donkey and a hooker.
Right. And strippers. And
yes.
With the
Bachelor Party. I'm sure everyone's seen it. If you haven't, how could you not? You got to watch Bachelor Party.
That's a staple of the 80s, that poor show. But Tom Hanks was in there, and it was like, wow, it's just one of those things. You're like, oh, what the hell, But it's hard to see that serious, especially with Saving Private Ryan and Bachelor Party contrast. You're just like, wow, he's heartfelt there, and then he's taking his shirt off on Bachelor Party. You know what I mean? It just kind of. But anyways, that's the thing back then. So any other movies or TV shows that caught your eye?
I'm trying to think of what have I watched anything else? I've watched Tom Cruise's Maverick. I have to watch the new Predator.
You
That
gotta
was on
watch
there.
that. It's good.
But
I
yeah.
liked it. It's a slow start, but it's good.
Jen wanted me to watch a movie I still have to watch. It was The Man. Maybe she put it down in the chat. It was The Man from. She put it in the chat, but it's a film actually for where I grew up. It was in Yorktown Heights. So this film with she put it in the chat. No, maybe she didn't watch it yet. It's a film taking place where I grew up in Yorktown Heights in Westchester, New York, and it looks really good. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and see it. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend. But I got the title yet. It's A Man from Something, and it's the guy from Cheers. Woody Harrelson is in it, and I don't know if he's a spy. No, it was just like out in the past maybe 3 to 6 months. Jen must not be watching. She's his proof that she says hi and then she disappears. She's not watching. Otherwise, she would tell me what the name of that movie is.
But that's the thing, eh? You get all these movies to watch, but I find that the industry's picking up again because for a while there you were like, "Hey, did you watch anything?" No.
Well,
no,
right here from your boy. This is something I have to watch from your boy right here. I'm hearing good things about the House of Dragons, which is the prequel to the Game of Thrones.
Episode yet. I have it, and I didn't watch it yet. So
I've talked to a few people who watched it, and they said it was really good. So I'm thinking maybe they should do an anthology series. So with an anthology series,
prequel, right?
This is. But if they do an anthology series, they could fix that last season. You know, they can start putting in what we didn't see and kind of expand it out with something like that.
They're probably going to do that, to be honest.
Well, I think so. But this prequel, most prequels don't do well usually because you kind of know what's going to happen. So people really don't get invested in it. But for the people who saw
see how this goes. I think HBO's invested into the series, and I think that'll be good. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's going to be awesome. And Andor, somebody mentioned Andor. I think
that was a second ago.
Andor or whatever you want to call it.
Here we go.
I don't know what to think of that just yet because I kind of, you know what? If Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni didn't touch it or had their deep investment into it, I don't want anything to do with it. I think. Oh, the money pit, so good.
That was laughing my ass. The favorite for me is when he's in the floor and he's like tied up. He's like, and he's just laughing like crazy.
Oh yeah,
he lost his mind.
These little jets or whatever, these paper things, and he's doing little jets with the paper Post-it notes
right.
or
the
money with the money.
That's all they could do.
The best part to me is when he's upstairs and they're filling the bathtub and it goes through the floor and it explodes at the bottom, and then he's looking down into the hole and he's going bah, 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 and he's laughing.
He lost his mind.
Like he lost his mind right there on the spot. It's like it's great. It's one of my favorite movies actually of Tom Hanks. It's not. I love Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, I can't think of a bad movie the guy's been in. I really can't think of a bad movie the guy's been in. I think he's a really good actor.
What's the one with Joe Volcano or whatever?
Oh, was that with Shelley Long?
Oh, I forget what it was.
I think it was with Shelley Long. She probably brought it down.
Oh, that was a terrible movie. Joe Volcano.
Joe versus the Volcano. Joe versus the Volcano.
Yeah, it was a terrible movie. But there's not many. But Splash was good, as Wolfen knows. Big is awesome.
Yeah, Big is a classic. And they took away Zohar from Playland. There's no more Zohar there. Yeah.
Zoltar?
It was Zohar, however they pronounce it. But yeah, he was there, and then he's gone. Past 2 years, he's been gone.
He probably broke.
Well, he didn't. When he was working
anymore.
My son and I would go up to him every time. Put the thing in, you got the. And then the car would come out just like that.
And it was the same machine from the movie?
It was probably not the exact same machine, but it was.
It isn't that filmed in the New York area?
Yeah, it was. A lot of it was filmed at Playland. That was like the whole end scene was running down that boardwalk. That was Playland.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. But Tom Hanks, what was the one that he was on the island by himself there? I forget. The Castaway.
Castaway. I never watched the whole thing.
That wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. It was kind of weird, but it was different, and then it was good. I liked it. But I think my favorite Tom Hanks movie, if I had to peg one, is Money Pit or Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, my brother won't watch it. I'm
it's
like,
a classic.
Why could you not watch it? He goes, I don't like Tom Hanks. How do you not like Tom Hanks? Especially Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, it's totally fantasy, of course, but I prefer, I liked Forrest Gump and the whole story and everything. I thought it was really interesting, and I'm a big fan of Robert Zemeckis' stuff like Back to the Future.
Well, it's one of those things. How many quotes came out of that movie? My life is like a box of chocolates. I mean, there's all kinds of things in there that are still around.
Shrimp, and he has a little toothbrush on the floor.
Right.
Shrimp this and shrimp that, and that's the best part.
Know what I remember mostly after that? It was the Academy Awards that happened that Forrest Gump was in for.
Yeah.
And this guy comes out and he's speaking. He's giving an award away, and people are looking at him like, "Who is this guy?" And he's talking, and he's like, "I was Bubba from Forrest Gump." They was like, "Oh, that's who that guy is." He was literally at the Academy, and they didn't know.
An actor a little bit, right?
No one knew who he was, and then he comes out and says,
apparently he wore a prosthetic to stick his lower lip out.
Yes.
Imagine that, running around with that thing in your mouth all day, right? It's and then the whole movie was an Apple advertising. Hey, I bought some stocks in Apple, and everybody knows it went through the roof, kind of thing.
Don't remind me of that. I could have bought it in right before they went out of business in, what was it, 84? No, 87. Whenever it was, that Apple was like just about to go solvent. They would crash. They were done. I could have got it for 76 cents a share, and I bought Atari stock. Apple went this way, and my Atari stock went. I lost $2,000. That $2,000, I'd be a millionaire right now with that Apple stock. I'd be sitting on the board at Apple.
Oh yeah,
right now.
You'd be sitting pretty. You wouldn't have these great GRS products, but still.
No.
You wouldn't be hungry, You wouldn't.
No, but me and the other Steve Wozniak, we could have done something. We could have changed the world back then.
Yeah, but you don't even like Apple products.
I don't. But I like the old Apple. I mean, again,
Mac?
Jobs.
You're not a Mac fan? I guess?
No, I mean, Apple's an American company, so I don't really hate it. And there are some advantages. They're very secure, by them, because they basically stranglehold you into their ecosystem.
Oh yeah.
But that's also where I have the problem. I don't like to be locked in saying in 2 years I gotta buy another phone because Apple decides, well, we want to sell you a new phone, so we're gonna make yours unupgradable. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I just got my new.
Which one's that?
The 13.
The 13 Plus or just the regular?
Just a regular. My wife wanted to upgrade her phone from an iPhone 7 to that, and I got the 13. And
well, I'm glad you did, because
cool.
I'm hearing that the iPhone 7 won't be able to accept any more updates. Like, it's run its course. And that's what bugs me. There's nothing wrong with the phone. Apple just says, no, we're not going to support it anymore, so buy a new one.
The problem is not having the updates on the phone. It's the developers or the ecosystem that doesn't support the old
that
iOS.
Is hogwash, sir. You are Apple brainwashed.
No, excuse me. I know it can be done, and it's bullshit. I get that. It's them preventing you from getting the latest version of Skype or whatever. You know what I mean? It's trust me, I don't have this stuff with rose-colored glasses on.
Okay.
It's frustrating as all hell. I came close a few times to switch over to Android, and I would go to Android, but the rest of my family are Apple. So if I need to talk to them with FaceTime and everything else, I have to blend in, so to speak, right? So
you're going to be a lemming and follow the masses. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, because I want to make it easy to communicate. Anyways, that's basically that portion of that. So, so you watching anything with Jen these days as far as?
No, we actually have not been able to. I don't know, it's been 2 months or 2.5 months. We haven't watched Babylon 5. We haven't watched The Office. We haven't
got started on Babylon 5 though?
Yeah, we got. I think we're in season 4, episode 4, and
okay.
That's as far as we got with that. She says she does. She says she does. I'm not sure if it's actually. I didn't bring a Bible out because she's very Catholic. That's what I should do. Maybe I should get the Bible, although I can't touch it.
Put her hand on it.
I can't touch it. I got to put those big oven mitts. If I touch the Bible directly, I'll probably burst into flames. So
that bad, huh?
Yeah, but if I put those big rubber gloves on, I could probably bring it to her and say, "Do you really like?" That's maybe a good thing. Maybe we'll do that live. Maybe we'll do that in an episode. A lie detector test.
Self-combust Glenn. I'll bring the marshmallows out, and we'll have a Glenn roast. We'll roast you first, and then we'll put your hand on the Bible, and you actually go up in flames.
But it's just been timing. This is my job's been busy. She's been busy. It just hasn't worked out as of late. I was actually happy she was able to come to the last gaming expo, but when I go to Hartford, I'm going to be going with Glenn, the double N Glenn, going with me, and I think he's in the chat right now. He was in the chat before. But we're going to go to the Hartford show Saturday. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you guys go close enough to Hartford, Connecticut, the gaming expo will be there this weekend. Yeah, but Wolf and Oz keep saying there's one up in Syracuse, which again would take your 50-hour ride down to 40 hours.
Yeah, gee, thanks.
But it's literally right across the border.
To get to your place from my place, how much
I think
was it?
8 or 9 hours.
Hour drive or something?
No, I thought it was 9 hours, which is still a lot.
I think it was 12 or something like that. Or I forget. It's a long drive from where I live to where Glenn lives, from Canada, northern Canada, Ontario.
Yep.
To there. Yeah, it's a bit of a doozy.
I mean, Canada's a big place, and you're like today. What's your weather today? We hit I think 96 today, Fahrenheit, which is probably 4,000 degrees Celsius. I don't know. I don't do those calculations.
No,
I'm gonna
it's
guess.
probably around 30 degrees.
That doesn't sound right. That 30 degrees doesn't sound
metric,
hot.
Man. It's just metric.
But 30 doesn't sound hot. 30 to me is freezing here.
Here it's starting to get cold. At night there, you don't want to sleep outside with a tent. You don't want to do
Speaking of which, supposedly tonight, of course, it's clouds. The Aurora Borealis is viewable from New York, from that solar storm. But once again, the cloud cover. Have you seen it? You go outside one night and see these things. It's boring to you to see the auroras all the time.
Yeah, we see them all the time. When I was a kid, I'd be making snow caves in my yard, and I'd see the northern lights, they call them, right? So
right.
It's old hat for me. So, but hey, I wanted to ask you a space question. Are you excited for Artemis 1 for launch?
Well, here's my thing on that. When they started, the shuttle was taken offline in 2011, and they started with, I forgot the first one. They changed so many times, but the Artemis to me is a waste, but not for the reason you think. They spent all this money to keep the contractors who built old technology of the shuttle and turn it into a new ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
They built 8. And I have a funny feeling it's only going to be 8, because at that point in time, Elon Musk is going to
the whole program.
Well, Starship will lift more and put a lot more into orbit. So am I excited? Yeah, I want to get us back into space, deep space, the moon. But this country is so big and wasting so much money because they kept the contractors who was pocketing so much money, keeping the same shuttle engines, was supposed to be reusable, right? The shuttle engines were reusable. Not anymore. Now they're getting tossed. They're burned up in reentry. So that's now, instead of 3, it's 4 being burned up.
You got to ask the bigger question about all that.
Well, the big question is, it's in someone's pockets.
Oh, no, that's not a money thing. I have more of a conspiracy theory. And didn't they go to the moon in the 70s? And now they're making a big deal of going back to the moon.
Well, you know why? There's a reason.
I'm sitting there going, didn't you guys go to the moon in the 70s? And
yes.
Now, you supposedly went to
we went.
Theorists.
Oh, you start that stuff.
No, but
But the reason
I was
is
at Kennedy Space Center. The proof's there.
Why'd we go the first time?
Just to be one up the Russians.
Correct. It was a Cold War with the Russians. Who are we in a Cold War with now? And who's made pretty clear? No, that's not true.
Oh, China. Sorry.
China has made big plans to go to the moon and Mars, and their space program is from going to nothing. They've got space station built in no time. Their probes already landed
in record
time.
Those guys.
They already got stuff on the far side of the moon. So that's starting the new Cold War, but now it's with China. And they have to get Artemis there. We have to get to this one crater, which again, the Apple show that we both couldn't stand after a while. The For All Mankind. That was it, to get to the crater for the water and the resources. So China's already said that's where we're going. We're like, oh, well, we better get there first. And then
colonize it or whatever.
So the Artemis program, back to your first question, is a colossal waste of hundreds of billions of dollars, because it's supposed to be launched in 2017. Right. We're now in 2022. We're 45 years late. In the 70s, we did the whole thing in 10 years. We went from nothing to on the moon.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
In 10 years. And now in, was it 13 or 12 years, we're just barely getting a rocket that's basically the same that we had with the Saturn V.
Yeah.
But now we got to do it in 2 separate launches. The Saturn V picked up the LEM and the Apollo capsule. It was one rocket.
Yep.
I believe now it's 2.
Yeah,
So
I
you'll
think it
launch
is.
the lander, which will be now Starship. They said, okay, we'll use Starship. So this country's just very good at wasting money. And someone posted something today, and I agreed, with the president. They put term limits. Before, the president could have stayed as many times as he wanted. And they said, nope, you know what? 2 is good. It just makes sure you're not, getting in a rut or doing your own agenda. Yet our Congress and our Senate are in it for life. They could give a crap. They don't care if they're wasting money.
Hey, Glenn, we're out of time.
Is it really? Oh, you got me in a rant.
I got to go pick up my son.
Oh, wait, before you go, though, Jen thinks in the chat. Jen, what is that show with Woody Harrelson, The Man from Where? The Man from Where? She should put that in the chat real quick. Give her 30 seconds. Make sure she's actually watching. We just didn't type a text again and took off. Term limits all around, I agree. So we'll give it 30 more seconds, then we'll have to end the show. And again, for everyone here, we always thank you guys for joining us on the show. We appreciate you guys switching to us to Wednesdays from Fridays. She-Line Gaming was in the chat. We have Game Time. And it looks like, Jen, there it is. Juan. Okay, thank you. Here we go. Here we go.
From Toronto.
Yes, the man from Toronto.
He's the assassin guy. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. I saw the previews for that.
Right.
The man
So
from Toronto.
that's apparently Westchester and Yorktown Heights. And that's where I grew up.
Oh, it's not Toronto?
No, it's not Toronto. It's Yorktown Heights.
It's not Toronto like it says in the damn title?
Nope. No, he may have come from there.
You Americans
he may have come from there.
Cannibalizing our cities. All right,
Juan,
Glenn,
thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Tonight,
Remember, tell your family and friends that you love them. And what else? Tell them, Jim. Steven?
Jim.
Yeah, Jim. I'm thinking Star Trek from before. Star Trek from before.
And game on, guys.
Game on.
Don't forget to go support that Kickstarter.
Definitely support the Kickstarter. And we'll see you on Friday on Game Time. See you then,
Take
everyone.
care, guys.
Have a great night.
At the Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
sit, Blue Blue sit. Good dog.